This really is your canvas. And maybe you say you feel like 2/3 of it is a canvas and a third is a given that I don't really like much. Okay, then make the 2/3 really, really cool and an authentic expression. The other third will take care of itself.
I am a very emotional person, and I'm learning to detach when my emotions come up. The only problem is I can't seem to maintain some kind of well-being alongside of the emotion. I delete the story, detach, and don't seem to be able to go to well-being. Do you have any suggestions?
You say you're attached to emotions, and that's why the emotions are such a big player in your life. Dealing through what happens to us in our life through the emotional mechanism, getting very emotional about it and acting in a very emotional way is an operating system. Somebody else may go to open, somebody else may go to numb, somebody else will go to, I don't know what, creative. Somebody else will become very logical. Some people feel that if they're very emotional, something very strong and meaningful is happening. Nothing really happens, nobody suffers beside you, and maybe the people around you that receive you in a very uncommunicative state. When things don't go well, the operating system that serves us best is the one when we are becoming like a divine mother father figure to ourselves. If we cannot access divine, it's as if you see somebody just got hurt. So it's like, okay, I'm hurt. I know that I am not in my calm or my default state. My blood pressure is high, I'm crying, I'm sweaty, I'm clammy, I'm dizzy, my brain is racing. Okay, what can I do to bring myself into a place where I can even access what is going on? So the first thing is maybe I need to express a little bit. It may be expressing through sound, through movement, letting the bell curve happen until it's a little softer. And then I can maybe expand or feel held or find a way to just kind of make sense of it all. In some levels, maybe hives of, oh, it's hard and coming back. You got to bring yourself back to presence. You got to bring yourself back to some kind of state where above is above and below is below, so that you can from there meditate, access some help in yourself and through others. You stop being emotional when you know that being emotional about things feels to you like a lot is happening. But at the end of the day, nothing much is happening beside you making yourself very unhappy, very tired. And not only what happened that upset you happened, you also have to deal with the fact that you're so upset. You learned how to operate with your life and with your moment from your parents. If your parents were very emotional or if they were very cold and didn't care about you, you're probably very emotional. What is the shortest distance from here to powerful? It's almost like you got off your vehicle, which is you expanded, then you really have to find a way to a place where you feel somewhat held, either by yourself or someone else that can mirror you, and not be thrown into the ocean of emotion that cuts you away from all your lifelines. So the next time you become emotion, remember that somebody named Ronit said, maybe there's a different way for me to deal with this moment. And even before you get emotional, have a list of other ways where you might want to deal with your moments. The fact that you scream or cry or become very erratic about things doesn't make you powerful and doesn't make them more important. It's just you spinning your wheels. I hope you learn that, and I hope that you incorporate the meditation of going to nurturing spaces and remember your powerful, joyous, divine space. It'll become very handy when you need some support. And it's way more soothing than being emotional about things. Thank you. I hope this helps.
Can you talk about the difference between obligation and responsibilities and choice? How can I feel more at peace even have joy when fulfilling an obligation?
I don't know that obligation is something that's necessarily always a bad thing. Like when you have a bird feeder in your yard, you kind of have an obligation to fill it up because the birds know that if you don't fill it up, in the winter they'll come looking for the food and they may harm themselves because you committed to raise them in your yard. Everything in our life, whether you call it an obligation or a vacation, which is a rhyme, if it comes from open and clarity, it feels good. And if it comes from a place where I really don't want to do it, it feels bad. So the thing is, like, how many things in my life called obligation, commitment, fun, cucumbers, how many of them actually feel good and how many of them feel like too much? It's very easy to call obligation to something we don't like. If your life is full of a lot of points that you feel that you have to make, that you really don't want to make, then there needs to be some deep work about who the hell created that life and you made me do all these things that I feel that I don't want to do. And why do I live in this illusion that somebody's controlling me and that someone doesn't care about me? And maybe I can change my illusion to something that feels a little better. The idea that it needs to feel joyous and meaningful is at the end of the list. But then if you tell someone you only have one day to live, then joyous and meaningful will become at the top of the list. So take it one day at a time. And if it's only one day at a time, then the joy and bliss and inspiration will be on top of your list. I believe the stardust to come should come first. And yes, there's some obligations, but you've created them and maybe you like it. I don't know, maybe you like to send a basket of flowers to someone every once in a while. And maybe you should make it with an open heart and then it'll be a pleasure. I'm honored to do this, I'm honored to do that. How many of your tasks you can change into I'm honored to fulfill this task, but not lie to yourself? Work with yourself until you feel the gratitude for being able to do that. For being able to pay your rent. I mean, the fact that you have the money and you have the roof, sacred. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
How can I stop judging myself for not meditating as well as I feel I should have today? I feel happy that I at least showed up. Could this be enough for me today?
You answered that question, not me. Is showing up enough for you today? I, you know, I don't grade you. Nobody grades you. Maybe people try. Maybe people in your life do. But you got to grade yourself if you need to grade anything. I feel it goes with your integrity and it goes with the fact that when you go to bed at night, do you feel like today was fulfilled? Were you really present to your moments? Did you give something? Did you add something? Did you receive something? Thank you for receiving. I feel like we're good enough and I feel like we do the best we can. And I feel like, again, judging yourself is thinking that you're not. So starting with what I said today, with allowing yourself to be who you are, and then if you want to add a lamp or if you want to add another swirl to your life, do it in a way that doesn't feel like an obligation, but like a inspiration. This really is your canvas. And maybe you say you feel like 2/3 of it is a canvas and a third is a given that I don't really like much. Okay, then make the 2/3 really, really cool and an authentic expression. The other third will take care of itself. Be nice to you, be accepting of you, be understanding of you, and believe in your abilities, talents, and that you know so much more than you already know, and that you're capable so much more of what you think you're capable. Everything you think and you know and you assess is your past. So now it's present, moving on to future, and another present, moving on to future. Get with the program. Expand, grow, and see what is around the corner. Even though you know already what's there beyond time. Very nice for you to be here. It's very nice to see you. It's very nice to meet you. I'm Ronit, and if you have any questions, I'd be very happy to see if I can shed some light on your questions. Thank you.